Hello and welcome to another edition of the Thrift Store Horde. Yes, it's exciting to be back, and we have a whole new attitude here, and in fact, a new face. That's right. We're excited to have rounding out our trio of thrift store junkies, you might call us, treasure hunters of retro delights. We have Chris Bailey joining the crew this time. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been watching your stuff, on social media forever. You're, a member of, the VIPs on the Retro Network, and you're somebody who is so passionate about thrifting, about hunting in so many different locations. You know where to find these things. So, just real quick, why don't you fill in our viewers on where it is you go? What kind of venues are you finding these pieces of nostalgia?
I mean, my most common one I hit are the Goodwill outlets or the bins, as people call them. It's where they sell everything by the pound. They're sort of gross, like they have a bad reputation sometimes of being gross places to dive in. But I figure if I can survive those, I can survive anything. I'm typically good at uh I like hunting those because I do a lot of action figure restoration or trading for action figure parts or old toy parts, and a lot of times that's what you find there. You find the shells or the pieces or just random little pieces. And they also sell books at a lot cheaper than the regular Goodwill bin or Goodwill prices. Like at the bins, I think books are 59 cents for children's and magazines, and they're like a under $2 for a soft cover and under $3 for a hardcover. So I tend to stick to the children's books. 50 cents a piece is usually a good price to find some of that retro nostalgia that I'm hunting. But that's the main place. But I also hit whatever thrift stores happen to pop up. For a while I was hitting. We had a local auction, so I'd hit that auction house once a month. That After COVID, it sort of went out of business, so I haven't been back to. We have a couple other auctions around that I haven't hit up. I tend to go. We have meetups. I just had a meetup with one of our local toy collecting groups and got some fun stuff that I'll share. It's a shout out to the Oregon Outpost 788. We started as a GI Joe collecting group on Facebook, and then, as all of us collectors seem to do, branched out into many other toy lines. And it used to be mostly vintage. Now we got a lot of guys that collect modern that are in there, but are getting into vintage. So you got a lot of people that are interested in some of the cool nerd stuff that I like. So it was fun to meet up with those guys again and do some trading. But those guys are all based out of the Pacific Northwest. And then just flea markets are the other big ones. I don't hit garage sales as much as other people do, mainly because they're not, like, you have to either know the neighborhoods, or like I'll be driving on the highway and I see a garage sale, and like if I can't figure out how to park, I'll just keep on going. It's not worth my energy of figuring out how to get to one. But every once in a while I'll hit them up and I find some good stuff here and there. I collect a lot of different things, so my thrifting journeys brings in if I miss on one thing, I can usually find something else that I really like.
Yeah, I'm excited to see as we progress here, just the breadth of your collecting and the things you've come across. And I'm jealous of the flea markets because we just don't have those around my area, and it's something I miss. I used to hit them up when I could back in my days growing up in California. So this is going to be good, though. I know we have a lot of stuff that's been building up. We've been finding some fun things. Kevin, what do you have mostly this time around? What have you been accumulating?
Oh, let's see. I have some weird books. I have some comics and magazines, and I got some VHS.
Oh, this is good. Oh, I'm excited. Yeah, I got books, I got VHS, and I got some random toys. What about you, Chris? What are you looking at?
I got some action figures, I got some hats, I have a bunch of different books, and I got a special one that I think Kevin's going to really enjoy when I finally show it off. Yeah, you.
Hmm,
And I got some
interesting.
VHS, and I think I have a vinyl with me too.
Okay,
So I got a
cool.
little bit of everything.
This is going to be a fun ride then. So I'll kick off real quick because I just have a short stack of books that I'll pass it over to Kevin real quick. But this is one that, I see these like larger collections of newspaper strips a lot, whether it's Calvin and Hobbes or whatever. I picked up a Foxtrot one recently, but this Doonesbury one, this is like an old school Doonesbury, like the crazy thing about this, so I was looking at this and I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, this must be like, really old. This must be a first printing, first time around. This was the sixth printing of this
What?
particular collection. I was like, how could that be? Like, that doesn't make any sense, but it lists all of them, like every year that they were collecting, starting in 1974, and this was 1978. So that was a big deal, apparently. This is another one, not for me, but for my kids. So, a Pokemon the movie book here with Mewtwo Strikes Back. It says there's 16 pages of bonus color picks, so those are still intact there. This is a big one for me, though. I loved these books back in the day. I'm almost sure I had this one, but I didn't have the cassette with this. But the Batman and Robin, these Fisher Price audio books that they would come with a tape in the background. I have my Wonder Woman tape, but not the book still. And but these are just so cool. So it's in a little bit of rough shape, but overall, like the pages themselves are looking nice. So that was just awesome to gather that. Now this one was just kind of funny. This is a Cabbage Patch Kids coloring activity book in here. On the back, I collect like all the storybooks, like the hardback ones. So I have a bunch of those. But to have this that was part of that series, now as you can see, it's been used. So some kid was just grabbing whatever markers they could find. But I mean, it's just real interesting stuff in there. This one was just a curiosity. So this is a Saturday Night Live book, okay? And they say it's a script, okay, for they have what is this, Francisco Franco, okay? But really inside it's kind of like a fake script and then like a bunch of commentary things from the cast of like the original cast. So what's interesting is I just saw a vinyl record of that they released, a vinyl comedy record of this cast, which I might buy just to pair with this. Uh, but I hadn't seen those before, but this was the big one for me. I was most excited, especially in this season. The
Ooh.
Simpsons Christmas book, okay? So this is like from right after that Christmas special first came out. And what's weird about it is it's actually just screen caps from the episode. But then the way they laid it out, they added all these extra pieces, like a close up of the letter that Marge is reading at the beginning and things like that. Just the layout itself is really strange. Um, Also, I love this because they have all these characters in here, and there's characters I've never even seen before. Ticket seller. Why do I care about the ticket seller? But there he is. Maybe they thought he was going to be recurring. The Simpsons were going to go to the dog track more. I don't know, but this was really special. I was so glad to grab that. So those are my books of the moment. What about you, Kevin?
Well, for longtime fans, we don't discuss anything beforehand. We want genuine reactions. So I put my books in order of what I want to build up to it, and I decided that I would put this one on top. Just coincidentally, so these are postcards.
Oh,
Still, I mean, I don't know what a stamp is right now, $12 for one, probably, or something like that. But you could get a forever stamp, throw it on there. In addition to now, anytime I see one of these long books, I assume it's going to be like a comic strip collection. Not necessarily though, because this was postcards, and this one is Jay Leno's Police Blotter, lesser known than when he would do headlines on the Tonight Show. He would do a police blotter, and just let me make sure before I put whatever up here. I don't know, Crime Watch Tree Stolen, like just silly whatever things and all. So it would probably take me like 20 minutes to read through it, and then I think I'm gonna pass it on to someone else. Adam, musician that you are, I think you would agree that sometimes people start singing, they don't know what they're singing at all. They might have some misunderstood song lyrics. Maybe we could make a book out of this. He's got the whole world in his pants. Let's see. Along with other misunderstood or misheard song lyrics, like Alanis Morissette singing "The Cross-Eyed Baby That You Gave to Me," the Ramones singing "I Want a Piece of Date Bread," or Elton John singing "Someone Shaved My Wife Tonight."
Wow. This is what year is this from? Because it's just like they poll people online. How do they figure out misunderstood lyrics?
Well, here's the thing. It's from '96. It is the second volume of misheard lyrics because the first one was called "Excuse Me While I Kissed This Guy."
Okay, yes, that's the one I've heard often. Yeah, a little Jimi Hendrix there.
All right. I am. He's not gonna watch this. My kid might get something for Christmas, and I found out that there's an online service attached to it, so I could play some old school games on there, which is very good because I might need this. How to win at Nintendo games.
Oh, cool.
Maybe this will help me out, and I can maybe beat the games that I never could beat when I was a child. So I don't know that it's quite as good as Nintendo Power. It looks a bit text heavy,
Whoa,
but I'll give it a shot.
that's neat.
Apologies to my co-host here. Apologies to the viewers. It's me. Sometimes I gotta go for the joke. Okay. So I found this little thing of oops and mistakes from newspapers called "Stop the Presses." Okay, and we got this little drawing here. Kind of reminds me of Dagwood a little bit. Like seems like that sort of
Yeah.
artist and all. I thought, well, is that who made this? Like, are they credited for it? All apologies. That is not the credited creator of this book. The credited creator of this book is Dick Hyman.
Come on.
I had to get it. Come on. So it's got goofy little drawings in it and all, and fun stories. All right. I believe at the time of recording, to date stamp this a little bit, we saw a nice little piece of Ghostbusters merchandise out there. I may have seen something going back and forth. I wonder if there's anything going on. So I'm sorry, these are not the real Ghostbusters. These are the other Ghostbusters, but this was a shocking find for me. Ghostbusters Into the Whirlpool.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they made books for them.
No.
Like we got the figures, which I wish I had some of those, but like that was it. It's not like we got a comic or anything, but your standard art for things like that, but it's pretty good art in it.
Yeah.
Like I was very happy about it. So I mean, well, it's not like I got Ghostbusters collection, but I had to grab this.
Yeah, I got to keep an eye out for those now.
Yeah. All right. Then so to go with the like comic strip long ones and all, you see, and I got collection. You got Doonesbury. We have the mass market size ones, and I find one called "Dating and Hanging Out." Almost everything you need to know about dating and hanging out, and it's little drawings and stuff inside it and all. I'm like, this looks like a Mad Magazine one. Like, there's my assumption for who created this. No, and it's not the Stop the Presses creator either.
It's
I
not
didn't
Dick
find like
Hyman.
more
Okay.
histories. It is not. It's not. It's a classier artist than that. Because it's freaking Will Eisner.
Whoa.
Like, what the? So I mean, like, yeah. I would have started to recognize it and all, but like, is he just bored one day? Like, this looks like a Mad Magazine, Crack Magazine, whatever thing, but it's freaking Will Eisner stuff. Like, and as far as I'll read it later, I'll probably do a whole thing. There's no there's no Will Eisner like art break, like some innovated. Like I keep going back to Mad Magazine. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, for those who don't know Will
Yeah.
Eisner, he is a seminal comic book artist who really created like amazing ways to set up a page and things like that. And you may have remembered seeing in the theaters or promoted at least the Frank Miller directed film The Spirit way back in the day, and he's the one who created that character. So
For the kids watching the YouTube and watching us on that, if you've enjoyed Spider-Verse and seen Spider-Man Noir, go check out The Spirit, because it's pretty much you can draw the line connecting the two.
yeah, but that's a crazy oddity. That's wild.
I was shocked by it. So I don't know what the story was for it. I'm gonna see it's 1979 for it. I have no idea what he was doing, why this came out, whatever. It almost, some of it, like, there's almost like a real world Archie thing going here. Like, it looks kind of schlubby and all. I don't know if it's an answer to something or what. Very curious. So I think I have. So I've showed this before, but I grabbed it just in case, because maybe I'll read it. I've shown this before. It's just the two of them sitting down and talking, and they transcribed all of it.
Wow.
Now who knows? Maybe that book's mentioned in here.
Yeah, we'll see.
You never know. All right, those are my books, sir.
Great. Chris, what do you got for us first time out?
All right. Yeah. So, like I said, I dig in the bins. 2 weeks ago, I was looking at them, and one thing I always find, but I never find in a good enough condition to take home because I can be pretty picky, is Garfield books. So this week or last week in the bins, I found like one of these little ones.
Mm-hmm.
These are always trash every time because they were red. Kids loved them, and they're in a weird shape, and they're really floppy, so they just always got creased. My son was a Garfield fan. I was always a Garfield fan growing up, so I had to grab some of them. And then Garfield's Guide to Everything, which is a newer release. I think I've never read it. I'm sort of excited to dig into it. Odie Unleashed.
That I'm curious about.
And then Garfield Pigs Out, his 42nd book. And I vaguely remember that one, whether it was my little brother's or mine. And then as I was talking to you guys right as before we came on, I did swing by the bins on the way home to film this, and there wasn't much there. But right at the end, I found a stack of Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Whoa!
Oh.
So 50 cents a piece on those, and I ended up leaving one that was sort of beat up, but the rest of them are in really nice condition. And they're another one that's always either library marked up or covers are ripped, and I'm trying to build a set. So I grab them anytime I see them. Like these, like garbage, or like the Goosebumps books. I've been sort of stockpiling them as I run into them, and eventually I'm going to sit down and figure out what I have and what I need.
Show us your favorite cover of those, but because the cover art on some of those was really something special.
I'll go with the one I would have liked probably the most as a kid, and that would be number 22, Space Patrol, because I was definitely into Star Wars and all the science fiction stuff when I was a kid.
That looks like Metroid almost. The colors.
It does.
That
Colors.
spacesuit.
Yeah. And then a book I ran into, was thinking of Adam when I found it, was Teddy Ruxpin. And this is the Lullabies. So it's warm and cuddly songs to dream by. I have a few of these floating around. And some of the tapes. I don't think I have a Teddy Ruxpin anymore. I did at one point. I'd have to check. Oh, yeah. I think I may have one. I don't see. That's the problem when you have so much stuff. You can't, like, sometimes I get rid of it, because I did have a Grubby and I sold that to a buddy, and then I may have a Teddy Ruxpin floating somewhere because I've been hunting the Christmas outfit.
Oh yeah.
And then I got a couple more books here. Here's one. Look and Find Gargoyles.
That's cool.
And so it's basically where it's called
there.
What's that?
I saw a Kmart sticker on there still.
Yeah, Kmart, $4.99. So it's depreciated a little bit because I got it for 50 cents. So, but I always love finding those unique Where's Waldo knockoffs.
Hmm.
I think I had a Shrek one at one point as well. And then I'll count these as books as well. So I was at the flea market on Sunday and I found some vintage 1983 sticker books. So special sticker album and then a larger sticker collector album. And they are full of vintage stickers. So I got like, and they were very meticulous about how they separated them. So you got holidays and you have like little critters. They have scratch and sniff.
Wow.
And my favorite part is they filled out the collector's information. So they talked about how many stickers they had of each one and what their favorites were and how many stickers total were in the book. And
that person,
it
that
was
kid,
pretty awesome.
Be an accountant.
Yeah. So where is their? Oh, they didn't write the number on this one. The other one though, total number of stickers in the little book was 326, and there was like there's the standard scratch and sniff and such, but then you also have like strawberry shortcake.
Santa, it looked like lots of Santas from around the world.
Yeah, Santa's. Oh, some Mogwai.
Oh,
and where's the? There was another really good pop culture one here. Oh yeah, there we go. Smurfs and Garfield Puffy stickers.
wow,
So
that is a gold mine.
Well, it was awesome too because they were $1 a piece. I found them at the flea market, and the guy's like, "Oh, I don't know," and I was like, "Sold." And there was one unstuck sticker, which is "Give a hoot, don't pollute." So
Wow,
good
join the Woodsy
right now.
team.
Yep. So that's the extent of the books I have this week.
That's the books. That was a great haul. Yeah. All right, well, let's get into some VHS here. We all said we had a couple tapes and other things flying around. I'm going to start off with just a few DVDs because I've started to grab them here and there. The first one was a Dragon Ball collection, Dragon Ball Z. This was collection 3. It was kind of beat up as far as like the slipcase box, but the discs themselves were in nice shape. I'm sure somebody out there wants to enjoy these. I've never dug too deep into Dragon Ball, even though my neighbor across the street was a big fan growing up. I've been finding these Spider-Man the Animated Series DVDs, so someday it's gonna disappear from Disney Plus. You know it. So I say grab them while you can. I have lots of them on VHS too. This one I had to grab for the season though, because I've always wanted to see the movie that inspired the film from Home Alone, where keep the change, you filthy animal. Well, here's angels with dirty faces. So this is what that parody was semi based on, at least in title. I so rarely find them, so when I do, I gotta grab them. But a copy of Mac and Me, the clamshell edition. So that's a fun one to get. This was interesting. Speaking of clamshells, still sealed copy of the Jungle Book here. This was the 30th anniversary edition, fully restored. It's got its promotional discount stickers and stuff on there. It's not super valuable, but it was just a fun relic. A little bit of Monty Python, The Meaning of Life. I feel like you find the Holy Grail everywhere. You rarely find the meaning of life. So it's good to check that one out. I actually haven't seen it. I've seen scenes from it, but I've not seen the whole thing. This one was exciting. Everybody knows I love my RCA Columbia home video releases. So the Karate Kid Part 2. Now, it has the red border, which is what I'm always looking for. But this is actually a later release. This is a Columbia TriStar version, and it's actually like a cheaper tape. And it's like, you can tell it's much lighter than the other copy, which I have over here. So just interesting to have kind of a variant copy of it. That's always neat. This was another random find. This was an RCA Columbia, but rock and roll, the early days. So you got all these performances from the classic. I have a bunch of these. It's the series called Music Vision, but like a lot of the tapes have degraded terribly. I don't know why this particular series, like I pop them in, I'm like, oh, Doesn't play. Um, Picked up a copy of Summer School. You know, it'll be summer soon enough. Get your Courtney Thorne Smith and everybody else in there. It's a classic of cable, right? This was a neat one though. So this copy of Casablanca here, this is an MVC release. This is the Magnetic Video Company. They were one of the first to release VHS tapes, and when you feel the weight of this tape, you just see how like heavy duty originally, these releases
Hmm.
were. Because I do already have a copy of CBS Fox copy, but it's great to get that now. Uh, Cinema Paradiso. So this is probably my introduction to foreign films back in the day when I was in college. So I was excited to find a former rental copy there. Let me see. Is this still yeah, so it still has the Please Be Kind rewind sticker on it. So gotta love that. Speaking of former rentals, how about some Blockbuster tapes?
Ooh.
Yeah. So this is John Travolta and Michael. I saw that Angel related film in theaters. I remember. This is Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. I thought maybe I could convince my kids to pop in a tape with me. Last one here, just for the holidays again. Good Housekeeping, favorite Christmas carols. Okay. So this is like a church choir singing Christmas carols. And then it's like country Christmas, people, horse drawn sleighs and just like going around decorating and whatever else. It's pretty relaxing, actually. I enjoyed it. I took a nap to it the other day. I'm just like, there we go. Put me in the mood of the season. So. So those are my VHS finds. Kevin, what have you been picking up?
Oh, Adam, I seem to have a theme tonight, and I apologize. So I found some Blockbuster, former Blockbuster, whatever anime stuff.
Oh,
I'll be very curious here.
uh-huh.
So we have, I don't know, I know some of them, I don't know all of them.
Yeah.
But I have Devil Hunter Yoko. She's young, she's in love, and a million demons want her dead, or worse. Kind of sounds like it's from Bad Girls era of
Definitely.
comic. So there's some like for AD Vision to mail out for more stuff. It's a white VHS, which is
Whoa.
very cool. Well, and then look at that window in there too.
Yeah, it's
Like
so
that's it. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I have no idea if the show's any good, movie, whatever. But there were two, so I had to get parts 2 and 3, and then I'm guessing that's part 1. I'm gonna assume, but it also has the little flyer in there, and it's also a white VHS.
that's neat.
So I have no idea what I'm gonna do with them. I mean, I'll watch it once, but after the one time. I have seen this before, and I liked it when I was first getting into anime, but I don't know if it holds up or not. But Tenchi Universe Volume 1. So I remember that being a fun little thing. I don't know if it still is or not. Just a regular tape for that one. I found clamshell. It's a cut box. It wasn't actual clamshell when it came out, but Ghost in the Shell on VHS. This one is really freaking good. Like it's phenomenal. Loved it. I think the first time I watched it, I rewound it and watched it again that same day. Speaking of an animated movie I can watch over and over again, there are many. I think we're up to 9, maybe 10 theatrically released movies from this franchise, and this is still the best one. Transformers the movie. Absolutely still the best Transformers one that ever came out. It's from Rhino, and it's got like it's not quite clamshell. It's somewhere in between clamshell and the regular slipcase one. But I mean, I got it on DVD, but still, just have Transformers on VHS says a lot.
Yeah, I have that tape. That's a good one.
Yeah, and this one, I know how it looks. I know how it looks. It's actually really, really good. So good, in fact, that Gwen Stefani saw it, loved it, stole the idea, and the No Doubt video of Ex-Girlfriend is a redo of this anime.
Ooh.
And it's called Kite. So young assassin girl, bad stuff happens, she gets attacked, all sorts of things, and all crazy fight that starts in a bathroom, goes through a building, literally through a building. But Ex-Girlfriend has them redo the fight from this. So if you're into No Doubt, seen the video or whatever, pick this up. I know how it looks. It's Japanese anime and stuff, but it's actually a really good movie. Enjoyed the hell out of it.
Neat. That's cool. That's a good haul, man.
All
All right,
right.
Chris.
I don't have that much. There's like for me picking up VHS. The main stuff I'm always hunting is science fiction or horror, especially that B level stuff for the straight to video store type stuff. And cartoons, old cartoon tapes. So recently I picked up DuckTales, Duck to the Future, and DuckTales, the Mass Marauders. I love DuckTales, so I was super happy to find these. Now that I looked, though, I almost got scared because it was missing its sticker. So I'm praying that it's actually DuckTales on there and not something else. We'll see.
You never know.
Oh, yeah. And then I picked up Disney's Tailspin. That's Showbiz. These are a couple of these are sort of, the Tailspin one's a little beat up, but I don't see that type of stuff very often, so I'll grab it when I see it. Typically at the bins, they're less than $1 a piece, so it's worth grabbing. And then the other one is Pokemon Primate Problems. I remember seeing this when it first came out. I was probably a sophomore in college and just watching cartoons in the afternoon. I tend not to buy these either because usually they're just much like Garfield books. They're usually beat up pretty good. This one is in really nice condition, so I snagged it. But that's all I had for VHS.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'll clear out the rest of my stuff here real quick. Just as far as some home media fun stuff here, I was able to pick up this tape set of The Shadow. Anybody that knows me knows I love The Shadow. And I've collected these ever since I was a kid. Like I have ones that are in wooden boxes, ones that are plastic boxes. This one's a paper, cardboard, folded box, but they'll just give you like 2 episodes per tape, one with each of the guys who, played the Shadow over the years because it ran for like over a decade. So that was just fun to get another set. I also was able to pick up this sealed Clifford the Big Red Dog tape and book set. It was actually my 5-year-old that picked this one out, so this probably be his at some point if he remembers that we grabbed it. So that was just kind of a fun blast from the past. This was also neat to find. So the Walt Disney It's a Small World, it's a record, but it's also a book of the ride. So you can actually, flip the pages and it'll take you through everything. I'm always on the hunt for the records. Like I have the Pirates of the Caribbean one that I had as a kid. But I'm always on the hunt for the Haunted Mansion one because I had that as a kid too. And some purge happened and it disappeared from our family library. So I got to get it back one of these days, but I know it's very popular. This was a random thing. Speaking of Disney, I just picked up a Beauty and the Beast thermos because I had picked up a Beauty and the Beast vintage snow globe music box, and I didn't even get to save it for this. I just put it up and it sold immediately. So I said, people are in the mood for that Disney Renaissance era. Also with Disney, Mickey and Friends sewing cards. So you guys remember these? You just put the threads through. But the reason I got these is this is my favorite era of Mickey and Friends. Let me see if I can pull one of these out here. Because this is just like this era, with just the total 80s fashion style for each of them. It just warmed my heart. My friend, I remember, had a big poster on his wall of Mickey looking so cool. So that was neat. The last thing here, I saw this in a bin of socks. And then I was like, okay, what do we got going on here? This is Pound Puppies, little slippers for kids. Okay, but it still has the original tags on it. So, grandma bought these in 1986 and never gave them to the kids. Something happened. So I loved Pound Puppies so much as a kid. I had a bedspread. It was covered in Pound Puppies. So to add that to the collection now is something special. So that's the end of my haul, but that was the heartwarming one to end on. So what do you got, Kevin?
Oh, I'll end with something warm as well.
Ah,
Okay. All right. So segue from VHS and media like that into magazines here, because this is kind of both. It is Naruto Episode 1 DVD that came packaged with Shonen Jump magazine when that was still coming out.
Hmm.
So I don't know if it's got like cool ads, anything else like that. I have watched Naruto before. It's a very fun show. It's only the first episode, so but it's just a cool little thing. I don't know if she tells all in this, but someone has a new book out, and I found this from 2000. It's Brittany, the cover of TV Guide. So it's just like, oh, whatever, in better days for her, I'd say. Speaking of better days, back when I cared about the show, because they lost me and I don't care and I've never watched anything more, but I was like, maybe I'll get into it again. Maybe someone else will want this. Lost the magazine.
Secrets
Never knew.
revealed.
Never knew it was out there. I loved this show at first when it started, probably up until like the first 4 years, and then it wasn't doing it for me anymore. But I saw it, I had to grab it. Which one do I want to do first? I think I already have one of these, but I saw it, and this is beat up, so it's probably going to go back to donate after I go through it. But Empire Strikes Back, right up, storybook, full color photographs. We've all seen them, but like this one's really like junky, so I'm not sure what I'll do with it. Did not know this existed. Very cool find here. Not used at all for a coloring book. Addams Family.
Oh, based on the cartoon series, maybe.
Yep. Yeah. So I was very surprised to find that. And then, I keep saying I'm going to go through the comics, the magazines, the graphic novels, everything. And then I find something like this. It's an Archie pile.
Oh.
So Archie Comics Digest. Just all sorts of silly ones, as he is known to do. But then there were a couple I'm like, I'm going to just grab them all at this point. So a little bit of fun, your usual Archie stuff. But then I forgot, I like one very little known Archie character. Two, didn't know she got her own digest. But Katie Keene got a digest for a while, which I have no recollection of. Much more fashion centric, picking out her outfits and everything, much more fashion centric than your Betty and Veronica. And I mean, they always had stuff like, oh, we got cute outfits and everything, but this one was straight up for the fashion. I don't know if this is Cheryl Blossom or random like girl on a vacation, but Archie's enjoying the winter snow, snuggling up to this lovely lady. As soon as my skis arrive from Switzerland, maybe he's on a European tour and he's flirting with a local girl. I don't know. Good for you, Archie. But when he goes to bed, he has visions, sugar plum fairies, or people dressed like sugar plum fairies. Because here's how Archie's spending Christmas.
Wow.
Dreaming of Betty and Veronica as Santa's little helpers, I guess. It was like, well, perfect. This was the one on top, and I'm like, well, I gotta get them now.
'Tis the season.
Archie's always fun.
Yeah. All right, Chris, close this out here. You promised us some surprises.
All right. I got a big stack here, so we'll go through it. So first off, I'm a huge Pac-Man fan. So I was super excited to I was in the bins and I found these awesome Pac-Man grocery bags. And they're definitely going to get washed, and I'm not going to use them for my bin shopping because I always use sort of junkers for those, but it's nice to have them when I go to cons or when I go to flea markets to have another type of bag to take around with me. And since it's by weight and these are super negligible in weight, it was kind of nice to just grab them and know they didn't cost too much. At my meetup I was talking about, I managed to pull a couple Dungeons and Dragons modules. This one used invisible ink. It was an individual player module, apparently, where you just color the pages as you made your sort of choose your own adventure style stuff. It didn't have the marker, but it was pretty cool. I've never seen that before. And another one, the Ghost Tower of Iverness. So I haven't played any of these, but I love collecting the old D&D stuff. It's really sort of my style, is that 1980s, 1970s fantasy art, and that's one of the things. The other thing, Adam might like this one. Definitely Wizard era style comic. It's a Valiant comic, and I didn't realize this group got in on the swimsuit issue fad as well, but it's a Super Mario swimsuit issue.
Whoa! What?
Yeah, so I think it's just Adventures of Super Mario Brothers #2, and the title says Special Swimsuit Issue. But there's one of my buddies had it, and I had to grab it from him.
That's hilarious.
And amazing at the same time. I gotta keep on the magazines real quick. That same flea market where I got this same flea market stall where I got the sticker books, I came across some books that were pretty interesting, some magazines that were pretty interesting. Definitely for the 80s kid, Dynamite magazine. So grabbed this one with Knight Rider on the cover, David Hasselhoff. No poster in it, but it still has the book plates that you could cut out and glue to your books.
Does it have the comic strip with like the brother and sister that transform into superheroes? That was my favorite part of Dynamite back in the day.
I haven't zipped through them all the way yet.
Oh, okay.
Dynamite issue 54, which is Battlestar Galactica. This one is also missing the poster, and it's a little more beat up. It is a little older than that one. And then this one I didn't get for Ricky Schroeder, because on the other side is you flip it upside down and it becomes Arcade magazine. Ooh. And I love vintage video game stuff. And this one actually has the iron-on transfer in the book still. So I thought that was pretty amazing. I'm an arcade whiz kid is what it says. And so those are really cool. Those are fun finds at that guy's booth. He was the guy I bought them from was, like many of the flea market people, they're storage locker clean out people. So they'll go through and clean out, they'll do storage locker auctions. So they get all sorts of random weird stuff. He had a number of cool posters. I didn't get a picture of them, or maybe I did. If I see them, I'll send them to you. But there were Jolt Cola posters from like the 90s, and the super swimsuit issue, Jolt Cola, just amazing ridiculousness. Couple other quick fun things. I found this Stomper case. Neat. I was trying to issue a copy of Hellboy 1 from a guy at a flea market, and I misread the price because I thought the price said $3. And then he quickly corrected me that it was $300, and I was like, I think I'll pass on that. So I ended up giving him, he was going to throw the Stomper case in, but when he quickly soured on that when I decided not to buy an overpriced Hellboy comic book. So he ended up selling it to me for like a couple bucks, which is still a great deal. I like Stompers. I have no working Stompers right now, but they were a toy that I always loved when I was a kid. Well, also at that flea market I always love looking through the Hot Wheels, because I can find Jeep Transformers in the Hot Wheels bins usually. And Hot Wheels tend to be overpriced, which made the Transformers actually decent priced, because $3 for a Hot Wheels is a lot. $3 for a Bumblebee, not so much.
Yeah, nice.
And also in the Hot Wheels bin, I love collecting Chuck E. Cheese, and so I found this Chuck E. Cheese prize van. I have a red one, and I do have a yellow one, but the labeling on it is all just decals they put on, so they all rub off and they're all just beat up. This is sort of really nice copy, so I ended up grabbing it to upgrade mine. And I was doing some research, and it looks like there's one other color I don't have, which is white. So I'm going to hunt that one down. And then at our meetup, I did get another Transformers, got Gears. I just love these mini Transformers. I think I'm pretty much done with my set, but I got to double check. I have a pretty growing G1 Transformer collection. I'm not anywhere near close, but I do have a lot of the small guys. And then the other thing I traded for at the meetup was a Machine Robo Cessna. So it's basically, if you don't know, Machine Robo is the Japanese version of the GoBots. GoBots are all based
Mm.
off a toy line in Japan. Some of those lines predated Transformers. But yeah, so I love finding them. They were sold like in the 80s. They're sold in these boxes instead of on blisters, which is nice because they display a little easier. And they come in like a little styrofoam case. So I was super excited to get that. I traded some modern GI Joe figures for it. Or no, actually, I traded a head to Fortress Maximus for this one. It's a spare I had because I have a nicer copy now. Almost finished. Other thing I do like to look for, we didn't have a category for it, but I'm an 80s and 90s kid, so I'm always interested. I'm not necessarily a clothes hunter, but I do, if I find 80s and 90s fashion. A Dayglow orange Pepsi hat was just sitting in there, and I had to grab it. And then at a garage sale this summer, I am a Seahawks fan, and then there's a pro line. It's called Color Splash pattern Seahawks hat. And these are all, this pro line hat style is pretty sought after by sports collectors. Tend to sell for more than I'd pay for them. So I'm at a quandary of whether I keep this or move it on to somebody that'll enjoy it more than I will. And then the last thing, Kevin, I heard you were a WWF, WWE fan or wrestling.
All of it.
Yeah.
All of it. It's possible Raw is on out of camera view right now. What is that?
Buddy, it is a wooden WWF toy box featuring Hulk Hogan, Road Warriors, Shawn
Hardy and
Michaels,
Shawn.
Yep, and
Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior. So I had a buddy that had this and then end up working a trade out for it. I also have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one I've had for a while, but I saw this at the last meetup and I ended up giving him a ride to the meetup because he was having some car difficulties and we worked out a trade for this. I was super excited about it.
Damn.
Definition of a treasure. Well, you took us
Yeah.
out on a big one, Chris. We're glad to have you join in our hosting team here. This is, wow, I can't wait for the next time around now. Who knows what we'll find? It's always an adventure. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for this edition of Thrift Store Horde. Of course, stay subscribed here to TRN TV and go on over to the retronetwork.com to check out all the awesome content over there to, tickle that nostalgia button for you when you need it, especially this holiday season. So many memories come up. But we want to wish everybody a happy holiday, and hey, we'll check you later.